America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. Welcome again this evening. We're delighted to have everyone here. Madam Clerk, if you would show for the record that we have all council members present except for Councilwoman Jan Brodusky.
Yes, Mayor, I will.
All right, thank you very much. So the first agenda item or item of business for this evening is an update from United Way of Palm Beach County, and here to give us some information about the services that are provided by United Way Palm Beach County is Dr. Seth Bernstein, who's the Executive Vice President of Community Investments at United Way. Welcome.
Great, thank you so much, Mayor. Do I have to pull this phone?
I'll press a button if it green.
Green light's on. Fantastic. Is that coming across okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council members, for inviting us today here to talk about United Way. I'm still getting used to calling you Mayor. I'm typically call you Colonel, so I'll share a spec about that in a moment. But just a spec about myself. My name is Seth, and I've been involved in our United Way for 2 decades. So since 2000, I started as a volunteer. I was an employee campaign coordinator when I worked at the Healthcare District of Palm Beach County, and they started up their employee giving to United Way. And one thing led to another, got on a committee, led a committee, was on the board for 15 years, and then resigned from the board and took a staff position about 8 years ago. But I've been in the county for about 32 years, working in the health and human services sector in the nonprofit world, so I know a little bit about some of the things that I'll be talking about. But it's an honor to be in front of you today, and I'll start off by saying that we fund about 100 initiatives and programs throughout Palm Beach County. Many are right here in rural Palm Beach, or your residents have access to them. We've been around for 95 years. We started after the Great Hurricane of 1928, and there were multiple United Ways back in the day, and now 4 of them combined in 1992 to create our United Way, and then there's a separate United Way on the town of Palm Beach. So they're both independent 501c3s. We are connected to our United Way worldwide, and we're one of about 1,400 United Ways in the U.S., and there's about 300 that are abroad. So we look forward to getting to our 100th anniversary here in 5 years, and just continuing partnering with the community with all that we do. I'll show you a video, and actually I'll do the video now. It's about a 2-minute video, and then I'll continue on my conversation about the other efforts that we do. But take a look at this.
United Way is a connector. That is their greatest gift of what they do for the community.
Our job is to inspire the possibilities. We need to reach those families and show them what we have to offer their children.
I think the face of need has changed in Palm Beach County over the last several years. People who need that added support could be your neighbor or a friend or a family member.
The meaning of food insecure is that they might not know where their next meal is coming from. They are people that your children go to school with. They are people that you see every day out and about that might be working, and they are just having trouble making ends meet.
United Way of Palm Beach County plays a huge part in community-based organizations. They are out there for us, they lobby for us, and they give us the ability to do things we would never be able to do. Funding that we receive from the United Way of Palm Beach County makes a huge difference in the life of the people that we serve.
One of the greatest things about United Way is that when businesses or individuals want to give, they're giving to programs like Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies, and a wide variety of opportunities for pregnant and postpartum women. But they're also giving to areas in housing and homelessness, in hunger. Your dollar goes so far when you contribute to United Way of Palm Beach County. You aren't just giving to one particular organization or one particular area of impact. You have the ability to make a difference across a wide range of opportunities.
Really is going to take this whole community coming together to help all of those that are in need.
On behalf of the ARC of Palm Beach County and countless not-for-profits, I want to thank United Way for all it does for so many in our community.
Great. Great. So that's just a little tidbit, 3 of our agencies that we support. I'll give you a broad overview of 6 of our areas of funding. I'll start off with our My Free Taxes program, our volunteer income tax assistance program. We've had it here at your rec center for like 20 years. And I asked our coordinator, and about each year, we do 700 to 800 tax forms right here. In your community, so it's an incredible partnership with your with the village and whatnot. And overall, in the county, we're providing over 8,500 tax returns that are completed, with about $10.5 million of tax returns coming back to our local community to be able to pay their bills and and increase their buying power in the economy. Our next one is our Hunger Relief Initiative. We've had a hunger relief plan for about 10 years. It's been sanctioned by about 200 or so different organizations. We put that together with the county. We're getting ready to celebrate our 10th anniversary of that, and they have multiple goals, but a couple of relevant things, and I think you participate in some feeding programs for your seniors here at your center as well. There are lots of food pantries in the county, probably about 150 of them, and there's 3 food banks that we also work with. And we're kind of like Denmark and Sweden, kind of a neutral entity in that space, and we're trying to get healthy, nutritious food into the mouths of children, of seniors, of veterans, really anyone in the county. There's multiple federal programs that, of course, go through the schools, and there's summer programs, summer break spot programs that we also raise money for and help fund throughout the county as well. And there's a very big weekend backpack feeding program. There's over 9,500 kids right now. Tomorrow will get food to be able to bring home for themselves and for their families, some meal starters over the weekend. And we do that in partnership with the school district is a huge partner with that, and I'm not just saying that because Dr. Miller is up on the dais either. And he hasn't made fun of me yet, so I'm waiting on that. But lots of partners there, and I think lots of opportunities. I was speaking with Mark from your Department of Parks and Recs, and about some of those initiatives, and there could be some further conversations about that. We also have a mentor center. So our mentor center has been around for 20 years, and we fund about 30 programs in the county. One is located right here in rural Palm Beach. BYY, Because I'm Worth It, is the mentor program. But there's about 5,600 youth that are mentored either in school or a community center or after-school program, and we have great outcomes that show that they're promoting, their grade promotions are happening more, and they're graduating at a great rate, and they're finding jobs or having some type of career aspirations as well, or going into the military or working. So that's a really great program. We also have, as you saw up on the screen, you saw ARC of Palm Beach County. There's several organizations that are working with adults with special needs, getting them jobs, but also children. So children, we have a respite program, and also out-of-school programs for kids that have all different kinds of special needs. We also have a special needs equipment fund that about 600 youth have been able to get services. It's specialized wheelchairs, it's different durable medical equipment, and this is life-altering medical equipment. To have someone with special needs who has never stood up to be able to get I don't know if they call it a wheelchair or not, but to get a wheelchair that's upright. We have a video of this one boy who's probably about 9 years old, never had, seen life with that vision, and his face is just smiling when you see him going down the road, and his dad is like on the side videoing him and stuff. It's pretty amazing. Another one is for veterans and their families. The mayor knows about that. He used to chair our Mission United work. So any veteran or their family member in Palm Beach County has access to the special initiative. And we're working with our government partners and our nonprofit partners, municipalities, faith-based folks and whatnot, to really wrap our arms around veterans and ensure that they're getting everything that they need. And then lastly, we are the Emergency Support Function 15 for the county in times of emergencies, and do some funding around disaster relief and recovery. I know when the tornadoes came through in October, we provided money for residents to be able to help pay their bills and stay safe and everything. So that's a snapshot of what we do. There's lots of more detail behind that, but really appreciate the time that you all took to hear this, and I'm happy to meet with your staff, later times to give more information, or to any of you as well. But happy to answer any questions or anything that anyone would like to share.
Okay, well, thank you very much again for coming this evening, and I think following up with the staff is an excellent idea. Do any council members have any questions or comments? Go ahead. Wow. Yes, Councilwoman.
That was because Dr. Bernstein's here. That's why that happened. Okay. Thanks for your presentation, Dr. Bernstein. I'm really glad to have you here, and you have to show some decorum since I'm up here, so I won't make any jokes. Dr. Bernstein and I are friends for a long time. It's great to hear of all the programs United Way is doing here, and I'm really excited for you to talk with our staff. Let us know how we can help. This is great. So thank you.
Appreciate it very much. And again, I do have some information I could leave with the clerk over here, and if you'd like to be in touch, you're welcome to.
Great.
Appreciate all your time, and thank you for your service as well to our community.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay. The next series of agenda items actually is a series of proclamations recognizing several things. And so I'm going to compete with our clerk in seeing how much I can read in a few moments as I go through these proclamations. Each one of them identifies a specific item of interest to our residents and interest to the village in general. The first one is recognizing the month of March as the Royal Palm Beach Bicycle Month. And the proclamation reads as follows. Whereas the state of Florida officially recognizes March as Bicycle Month, and whereas residents of and visitors to the village of Royal Palm Beach enjoy safe, environmentally friendly alternative methods of transportation that provide access to public and private facilities such as parks, schools, Palm Tran bus stops, and businesses, and whereas the village of Royal Palm Beach encourages the safe use of bicycles as non-motorized transportation, and whereas the village of Royal Palm Beach is committed to improving the accessibility, connectivity, and safety of non-motorized transportation throughout the village by constructing and maintaining 60.2 miles of paved shared use pathways, and whereas the local recognition of Bicycle Month in the village of Royal Palm Beach will increase awareness of alternative transportation options throughout the village while promoting the health benefits of bicycling, along with reducing traffic congestion, and ultimately popularize bicycling as a viable and attractive alternative mode of transportation. And now, therefore, I, Jeff Amara, Mayor of the Village of Royal Palm Beach, hereby proclaim March 2025 as Royal Palm Beach Bicycle Month, and encourage all residents and visitors to safely explore the convenience and benefits of bicycling as an alternative to motorized transportation throughout the village. Signed and sealed this 20th day of February 2025. So that is the first proclamation, and of course, for those of us who have ridden around Royal Palm Beach, we appreciate the 60.2 miles of shared paved pathways that serves us really, really well. It's good recognition, and it's Florida-wide. The next proclamation recognizes the week of March the 17th as Government Finance Professional Week in Royal Palm Beach. The proclamation reads as follows. Whereas the Village of Royal Palm Beach's Finance Department contributes significantly to the efficient functioning of our local government and the well-being of our community. Whereas their dedication, expertise, and leadership ensure the responsible management of public funds, transparency, and fiscal accountability. And whereas, founded in 1937, the Florida Government Finance Officers Association serves more than 3,300 professionals from state, county, and city governments, colleges, universities, special districts, and private firms. And whereas the association is the top professional resource for government finance, providing opportunities through education, networking, and leadership as well as distributing crucial information, and its members adhere to the codes of ethics, standards of conduct in the fulfillment of their professional responsibilities. And whereas this Government Finance Professionals Week, sponsored by Florida Government Finance Officers Association and all of its governmental organization members, is a week-long series of activities aimed at recognizing government finance professionals and the vital services that they provide to our state and to our community. And whereas the Village of Royal Palm Beach acknowledges the hard work, dedication, and leadership of the finance staff and extends appreciation to all government finance professionals in the state of Florida. Now, therefore, I, Jeff Amara, Mayor of Royal Palm Beach, do hereby proclaim the week of March 17, 2025, as Government Finance Professionals Week in the Village of Royal Palm Beach. And I encourage all citizens to extend their appreciation and recognize government finance professionals and the vital services that they provide to our community. Signed and sealed this 20th day of February 2025. And in a moment, I'll present the plaque to our Finance Director, CFO. And the last proclamation recognizes the week of March 3rd through the 9th as Flood Awareness Week in Royal Palm Beach. The proclamation reads as follows. Whereas the Village of Royal Palm Beach has experienced severe weather in the past in the form of extreme rainfall or tropical storm events, resulting in a flooding in low-lying areas, and this flooding can cause damage and flood losses to homes and buildings in all areas, whether they are high-risk special flood hazard zones or low to moderate risk flood zones. And whereas the Village of Royal Palm Beach is a voluntary participant in the National Flood Insurance Program that provides residents with the opportunity to protect themselves against flood loss through the purchase of flood insurance at reduced insurance premium rates, as well as setting higher regulatory standards to reduce the flood risk and potential flood damage to their property. And whereas the reduction of loss of life and property damage can be achieved when appropriate flood preparedness, control, and mitigation measures are taken before a flood. And whereas public education and awareness of potential weather hazards and methods of protection are critical to the health, safety, and welfare of residents, the Florida Flood Plan Managers Association, FFMA, have declared this week of March the 3rd through the 9th, 2025, as Flood Awareness Week to promote awareness and increase knowledge of flood risk, the availability of flood insurance, flood protection methods, and how to prepare for emergencies. Now, therefore, we, the Village of Royal Palm Beach, hereby proclaim March 3rd through the 9th, 2025, as Flood Awareness Week in the Village of Royal Palm Beach, and further encourage the residents of the village to increase their knowledge of how to protect themselves and their property from flooding. Signed and sealed this day, the 20th day of February 2025. And so each one of those is important in their own way. The one that has a direct impact, most direct impact on us is, of course, the financial management of all of our funds. And we owe a debt of gratitude to our CFO, or Finance Director, and I would like to actually present her with a copy of that proclamation right now. Next, we have reports from council and village manager and village attorney. I'm going to turn to my left and ask Councilman Miller if he has any reports.
I do. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As you know, I'm a new councilman, so I've been continuing my journey to learn how to be the best councilman I can be. Recently, I completed the Florida League of Cities online advocacy course, where I gained valuable insights into effective municipal advocacy. Currently, I'm enrolled in the National League of Cities Data for Electeds course, which focuses on using data-driven strategies to improve community outcomes. And in March, this is all thanks to Mr. Liggins and village staff. I appreciate you guys signing me up for this. And in March, I'll begin the Florida League of Cities online orientation course to further strengthen my knowledge and skills. Thank you, sir. Around community engagement, this past Saturday, I had a fantastic time alongside my fellow council members at the baseball season's kickoff event. It was really heartwarming to see that we have 400 children participating in that program, and that's grown every year. And we're truly fortunate to have such strong community engagement. I also wanted to take a moment to recognize our incredible village staff for their hard work in facilitating the cooperative use of the baseball fields, making this program possible. I'm also grateful for the feedback I've been receiving from residents. It's been invaluable. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me if you have any ideas, concerns, or simply want to talk about anything having to do with Royal Palm Beach. I'm here to listen. I also want to just take a minute to talk about 2 programs and ask the council to consider bringing these forward in the future. The 2 impactful programs I want to bring tonight are designed to help our students successfully transition into college and future careers. The 2 programs are called Xello, spelled Xello, and Path to College. Both of these programs provide essential resources, offering guidance on higher education pathways, career planning, and financial aid opportunities. I'm proposing that we invite representatives from both organizations to present at a future council meeting. So just a little bit about each program. So for Xello, it's all about preparing students for college and careers. Xello's is an interactive, student-centered online platform designed to help K-12 students explore careers, create personalized academic and career plans, and prepare for post-secondary education or workforce entry. This program is actually paid for by the state of Florida for every student in the state to use, and in our school district, we do use that. Some benefits for our students: it encourages their self-discovery, helping students align their interests and skills with future careers, offers them career exploration tools, resume building resources, and college application tracking, and provides them access to scholarship databases and financial aid resources. But it doesn't only have benefits for our students, it also has benefits for our local businesses. Royal Palm Beach businesses can play a vital role by creating a free profile on Xello. Then this gives them visibility across the state of Florida and allows them to post work-based learning opportunities directly connecting them with future talent. Some examples of these work-based learning opportunities are like guest speaking at schools, hosting site visits, job shadowing, internships. So there's a lot of opportunities for our students and our businesses. The other program, Path to College, is a local nonprofit that's been around for a little bit, which is dedicated to mentoring high-achieving, low-income students and preparing them for college and career success. They have a few key programs. They have a mentorship program with over 100 volunteers providing one-on-one guidance to high school students. They have a program called Speed Interview Nights, like I guess speed dating, and career panels, which helps students build their professional skills and secure internships. They offer college tours and financial aid support, and they have a Catapult Youth Mentoring Center that's opening this year that'll provide ongoing college and career resources in a dedicated spot. This is a really important program, and the reason it's important is 100% of the students that participate in Path to College go on to attend a four-year university. So these programs are already transforming lives in our region, but there's a real opportunity for us here in Royal Palm Beach to deepen our involvement. I propose that we formally invite representatives from Xello and Path to College to present at an upcoming council meeting. This would help us explore partnerships that could expand access to these valuable resources for our students and provide additional support for our local businesses. So I don't know if this is the right way to ask it, but would the council be open to scheduling these presentations?
What is the sense of the council?
I have no problem with them coming and giving a presentation. I was wondering if, because I know the high school, and neither of the names sound familiar, but the high school has, programs where they will help children, navigate the financial aid process and all of those things. This is different from what's offered at the high school, is what you're saying, right?
Path to College does participate in Royal Palm Beach High in a small way right now, is my understanding. And Zello is really focused on middle school students right now.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have no problem with the presentations, anything beyond that.
Okay,
We'll
Vice Mayor.
determine.
I do know Zello, they do send it out to parents, so as a parent of a public school child, we do already receive that. My only concern is that if we're going to let some nonprofits come through, that we open it up to everybody. So if there's any other nonprofit, there's several others that do that. There's Suits for Seniors, there are many other nonprofits out there that do it. So if we're going to open it up to one, we open it up to all.
So was that you're opposed to having them come in?
No, actually, I said if we open it up to them, we shall open it up to all.
I go on a case-by-case basis, but
If Suits
yeah,
for Seniors wants
I
to
get her
come
point.
in, so that's the question, is that if there are others that want to come in, absolutely, that we should open it up.
I understand. So I think we have a general sense of, yes, that would be a good thing to do. I think also the Education Advisory Board might be interested as well, so perhaps a presentation to that board would be useful as well. So
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Councilman Valentines.
No real report other than next month, it's March. We have an election coming up, March 11th. Please, everyone get out, make your voices heard. It really matters. I mean, I know everyone shows up for the November presidential elections, but these elections touch your life just as much, or if more. I mean, they're more directly related to the people. So please tell your friends. I mean, I know these are usually low turnout elections, but they matter, and please get everybody out. That's
Great,
it, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Vice Mayor?
Thank you very much, everyone, for coming. So our co-ed volleyball, our 10 to 12-year-olds and 13 to 15-year-old teams, there are a few openings left on that for the season, which begins in April, and they do need more volunteer coaches. So if you know of anybody who's interested, they could certainly help out. We have 150 participants for our pickleball courts at the rec center, and that's open from 9 to 1 Monday through Friday, and they're working on another court within the village as well. So there's an option there. There's always the demand, so we're going to continue to work with that. We have 200 seniors that register for many of our programs that we have throughout the village, and we have 80 that participate through each day, and that includes certainly our congregate food program as well. The Green Market is going on every Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., and that's right outside here up to the end of April. And as Dr. Bernstein said, we do have free Vita tax service over at the rec center Mondays and Fridays from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., and those are for family incomes of less than $70,000. We had presentations from our providers at our Recreation Advisory meeting. So Gary brought out youth baseball, where they have 40 teams and over 400 players, and we all attended baseball opening day. Claudine with our basketball, they have 3 travel teams, and they do something unique is that they make all the students go through study hall prior to practicing. So just to make sure that their education is just the same as their athletics, and their information is at royalpalmbeachstars.com. And of course, Mal with our soccer team came out. So we have 50 teams with over 600 players, and there's a new technology that they have that they've been using the last couple seasons, and it's a performance tracker vest. So it's really neat that the student or the athlete can put it on and then watch later on and see how they performed. What do they need to work on, and just their skill set as well. So it's really neat to see how technology is coming forward. We have several upcoming projects. So we have lighting being replaced at Bob Marcella Park. We have Frisbee golf pads and all-access playground going on at Commons Park. And we're applying for the grant for our artificial turf at Katz Field. So hopefully we get that, and that'll really extend the life of the field. We do have West Fest coming up. So that's Friday the 28th of February, and it goes through Sunday, the 2nd of March. And you can go to royalpalmbeachfl.gov for information on all of our events. I would like to welcome Kevin Harris and Spencer Carpenter, which are two really good friends that opened up Duck Donuts here in the village. So congratulations to another small business opening up. And we had the peanut butter and jelly next to the bacon one. So now I have a craving for peanut butter and jelly bacon sandwiches. So try out, they specialize their donuts. Thank you very much to H.L. Johnson for recognizing and holding their annual Holocaust Remembrance Day, and certainly to Ms. Zelda, who came out and gave her experience as a child growing up in Poland during the Holocaust. So quite touching, and it was really nice to see how the students got up and asked her questions so they have a better understanding of what happened. I had the pleasure of attending Vanderbilt University, did their Collaborating for the Future, so we did that presentation over there, downtown West Palm. They're opening up a location and soon to have housing as well. So it's interesting to see how we have other prestigious universities coming to the state and what that means for our residents. We had, thank you very much to staff and everybody. We had our 6th annual Barkey Pines 5K run. So anybody who does not know, we have a certified 5K track over at Commons Park. It's beautiful, it's self-contained, and it's really easy to have any 5K event over there. And lastly, since we're starting baseball season, rest in peace, Mr. Baseball, Bob Uecker, who passed away last month. So it's the first time in 50 years that we'll start the season without him. That completes.
Thank you. And so for my report, I'm going to go back to the opening day ceremony and just say that for me is one of the events that we do here traditionally in Royal Palm Beach that just contributes to that basic feel of an American hometown. Standing out there on the ball field, looking around and seeing the 400 athletes out there with volunteers from the community that make it all happen, as well as a beautiful ball field, is just a very inspiring moment to be out there. It really is. Of course, we can't do it without the great work from our Parks and Rec, as was already mentioned, and of course the board members of the league, as well as coaches, parents, and everybody. It's a great community effort, it really is, so it's exciting every year to be out there. Education Advisory Board meeting in February. We had the Western Academy Charter School was showcased at the February meeting. Principal Siri Miller, who happens to be sitting here this evening, provided a brief overview of the Western Academy Charter School, stating that it has maintained an A rating for an impressive 19 consecutive years. Principal Miller also said that they continue to be the #1 school in Royal Palm Beach based on student achievement, and also Florida's School of Excellence since 2011, and ranked, listen to this, in the top 3% of elementary schools and top 1% of middle schools in the state. Their Advanced STEAM Academy, focusing on engineering and IT, provides learning in critical areas, and when combined with their recent adoption of the Ron Clark Academy, which is a house system that we've heard about before, I think, which kind of emulates the Harry Potter house system, provides a whole student experience for grades K through 8 here in Royal Palm Beach, and we thank you for bringing that to us. Staying in the education area, Sea Perch Robotics Competition at Calypso Bay Park. We've watched the Navy Junior ROTC Royal Palm Beach High School host an activity that actually spanned over 3 Saturdays over a month and a half that involved as many as 24 different teams. And what these teams did to compete was they built a robot that would actually move underwater, under their control, and navigate a obstacle course, as well as pick up devices and move them from one station to another station. They did it with time as one of the competing factors. And over this 3-week period of time, they came down to a set of 2 organizations that ultimately will have a great opportunity here to participate in an international competition, which will take place at the University of Maryland in June of this year. Unfortunately, Navy Junior ROTC from Royal Palm Beach High School did not win that competition. It was indeed a team from Boynton Beach, but it's a great tribute to both Chief Sandoval, who is the senior junior ROTC instructor there at Royal Palm Beach High School, and also to the cadets who ran that, hosted it over at Royal Palm Beach or over at the Calypso Bay Water Park on those 3 Saturdays. It was a great event. It was fantastic. One more educational item is an announcement to remind everybody about the scholarships. All high school seniors in Royal Palm Beach, that there is a deadline, of course. The Education Advisory Board scholarship deadline is tomorrow, 5 p.m., February 21st. It's a great opportunity, and I encourage all eligible students to apply. You can submit your application at the clerk's office at the Village Hall, right over there, or email them to jdavy@royalpalmbeachfl.gov, and there are more details on the Village website. One final item. We heard a little bit about food distribution and food centers in Palm Beach County. Well, actually, yesterday, we were able to participate with Palm Beach Sheriff's Office, District 9, when they put together a food distribution activity over at Commons Park. It felt like deja vu, going back to the pandemic period when we did that for about 2.5 years. I want to thank Captain Aljax, Lieutenant Ferrante, and a special thanks to Deputy Diane Smith for putting it all together. We had about 30 people out there, actually, as it turned out. It wasn't just the district, which was a majority of the volunteers. It was also community volunteers who showed up again from our previous experience during the pandemic. And then again, we actually had Walmart employees who were there. Good community effort, good evidence of what Royal Palm Beach is really all about, taking care of one another. So thank you all very much for having done that. And that completes my report, which then moves us to petitions. I'm sorry?
No report, Mayor. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. So, yeah, okay, and to the village attorney.
I have a report that's a non-report in that you're all familiar with the Form 1, Form 6 litigation. So as we sit here today, nothing has happened recently. The injunction is still in place. The court has all of the motions for summary judgment and arguments, and the parties are sort of waiting either for the court to rule or to schedule hearings on the motions. It's just sort of in a holding pattern, but as we sit here today, you're still Form 1 filers.
Okay.
Just wanted to give you an update on that.
Okay, great. And I'm sure at some point we'll be getting updates when the session begins to kick off up in Tallahassee, right?
Yeah, on that, as of now, in speaking with folks at the Florida League of Cities, nobody is aware of any legislative attempts at this point.
Okay.
So, but, you know, the day is young, so we'll see.
It is very early, that's for sure. All right, well, once again, I'm going to apologize to the village manager and give him a second bite of the apple. You sure you don't want to report on something?
Oh, boy, now, what if, let's see. Nope, still no report.
All right, okay. I apologize for that.
No problem.
Okay, then, now moving on to petitions. Are there any petitions to be presented to the village council this evening? Not seeing any. I'll then move on to the public comment on non-agenda items and consent agenda items. I do have a card. Jessica Guerrero, would you step up to the microphone, please? And give us your name and your address, please.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak. My name is Jessica Guerrero. I'm an owner at Shoma at Royal Palm Beach. My address is 2202 Shoma Drive. I represent more than 240 homeowners at our community. We're asking for some help if possible. Our community is falling apart. We currently have 4 board members who do not reside in our community. Our president lives in Orlando. As our community being that it is falling apart, our crime has gone up extremely in our community. We have been through 4 different management companies, and they all have terminated us due to the actual board, and within the last 20 months. Currently, as of now, we do not have a management company. We do not have any maintenance. We do not have nowhere to make our monthly pay, our HOA monthly fee. November 2024, November 12th to be exact, the board approved a special assessment of $2,577, which they gave us only 10 days to make this payment. We have not heard from them ever since. So at this time, being that we don't have a management company, we don't even know where our funds are at. We don't know how things are getting paid at this time. Hold on a second. We don't know how things are being spent. They also are paying themselves. They have their own management companies and their own contract companies, and they're paying and approving themselves without having a board meeting or having board meeting approval. They also have a painting contract in place, which was signed in January without a board meeting, and they're even changing the color. Being that there's 443 units in our community, this has to be board membership vote, and they're not even doing that, and they're also even changing our color without board approval. They have more than half of the community in a collection company. Owners have been making their payments, and now when owners make their payments and they reach out to the collection company, they're being told that they're waiting for the board to give them directions on what's their next step. And now their owners are receiving liens on their homes. So it's kind of, we're kind of afraid. We don't know what's going on in the community, and we're asking if anyone can please step in and represent us, help us. At this time, the community has come together. We're in the process of, we did contract an attorney to do a recall for the board, but we're asking for help. We definitely have we actually have 5 members currently willing to step in right away. So we're seeing if anyone can please hear us out. We are desperately needing some type of assistance from anybody. We have written to the mayor's office. In the last 7 months, we have put so many complaints to the DBPR. We have reached out to the Osborne office. We have reached out to the news, and no one is listening to us.
Okay.
It's really bad in our community.
Well, that does sound very bad.
Yes, and like I said, our board members do not resign. We even have a board member that lives outside of the country, so how do you know what's going on in our community? If you go into our community, we are a gated community. Our gate has been broken for the last 9 months. Being that we have no management company, we don't even know. We've been trying to reach out to the board, and there has been no response within the last month.
Okay.
It's really, really bad where we at.
All right, thank you for bringing that to us. Is there anything our attorney might have to offer with regard to how we might be able to help?
The government is not, has no authority to enforce private HOA rules, regulations. I mean, in the event that there are minimum property standard violations that arise, I mean, the village can and I'm sure will bring code enforcement action, but that doesn't solve the problem that's been brought to you, and I don't believe that the village government has the authority to step in and assist the way you've been asked.
Okay, so village manager?
Agree 100%. But everything I just heard from the resident is correct. They are doing all the right things. It is a long process, but the things that I heard from you is because the board is responsible. You're not getting responsive board. You got an attorney. You're going for a recall, and there's residents willing to step up and fill those seats. That is what you need to do, and self-manage your development, and you have the authority then to hire a maintenance company that will do the work properly, and not a management company. That is the maintenance company, is what I think your previous one was that you have problems with. So it sounds like you're doing all the right things, and your lawyer, I'm sure the lawyer that you hired is familiar with the homeowner association rules and regulations. You mentioned DPR. That's the right organization within that to do it. So you're doing all the right things, and I would take that advice of the lawyer and act as quickly as you can, and take that board back over, have people that live there willing to manage it, and and get the maintenance part of it good. I gotta say, for the problems that you've had there, the place does look good. You guys have done a good job as homeowners keeping that place looking good. The things that we can assist with, like if the garbage isn't being picked up, obviously it's our waste hauler, and we can make sure that it is. As far as the police service, obviously we provide that. The conversations you've had with the police department over the last month or two, they are paying attention, a little bit more attention out there, and they are there. Statistically, though, things aren't a whole lot different. There's not a big spike or anything like that. Maybe that now that some of the residents are paying attention a little bit more, it feels that way, but it's not. And the police are, the sheriff is out there on a regular basis, and they are paying attention to what's going on, and they will continue to. So I suggest keep doing what you're doing. Get that lawyer working as quickly as he can for you.
So that is exactly what my experience has been. I think I mentioned to someone over there, I'm not sure who I was talking to, that I'd gone through exactly the same thing in our village with the HOA, with the board being non-responsive and not transparent about what was going on. And as I mentioned, and as the village manager just said, you're doing all the right things. Unfortunately, it's not as responsive as you would like it to be. One of the most positive things that you have going on out there is that you've got residents who care and who are willing to step up, because that's one of the keys. Replacing members on a board is not that hard. Recall requires just 50% usually, +1. The challenge is to get people to be willing to step up. It sounds like you have all of the pieces in place, just as the village manager said. So just let us know if there's anything else that we could possibly do to help you out. I mean, with some personal experience advice, I'd be willing to help out there too. So, all right, thank you for bringing that to us. Okay, so moving on then, let's see, where are we? Any other statements from the public on non-agenda or consent agenda items? Not seeing any. I'm going to close the floor to public comment and then move to the consent agenda and ask Madam Clerk if you would read the consent agenda into the record.
I will. Thank you. Number 1, approval of the minutes of the council regular meeting of January 16th, 2025. 2, approval and authorization in accordance with established policy for the making of a budget amendment for Fund 303 in the fiscal year 2024-2025 budget. Said amendment to transfer a total of $15,000 from truck replacement, Public Works, PWXXTR, to truck replacements, Parks and Recreation, PRXXTR. 3, approval and authorization to purchase 2 StarCraft All-Star 22-foot buses from Model 1 Commercial Vehicles Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $239,819 by piggybacking the Florida Sheriff's Association Cooperative Purchasing Contract number FSA 23-VEL21.0, heavy trucks and buses. 4, approval and authorization to purchase 5 Ford trucks from Duval Ford in an amount not to exceed $266,805 by piggybacking the Florida Sheriff's Association Cooperative Purchasing Contract FSA 24-VEL32-0. 5, adoption of resolution number 2507, a resolution of the Village Council of the Village of Royal Palm Beach, Florida, to declare certain personal property owned by the village to be either surplus to its needs and sold at publicly noticed sale, or determined to be obsolete, non-serviceable, or beyond economic repair, pursuant to and in accordance with the provisions and requirements of Section 2-3 of the Village Code, and authorizing the village to remove such surplus property when sold or disposed of from the fixed assets of the village. 6, adoption resolution number 2506, resolution of the Village Council of the Village of Royal Palm Beach, Florida, approving and authorizing in accordance with established policy the making of a budget amendment for Fund 401 in the fiscal year 2024-2025 budget. Said amendment to transfer a total of $360,000 from Fund 304 undesignated fund balance to David Farber Building Renovations, EN 2401. 7, approval of the bid award in the amount of $458,695, and authorization for the village manager to execute a contract with the lowest responsive responsible bidder for Farber Building renovations, EN 2401, Tucon Builders Incorporated. 8, approval of the bid award in the amount of $266,582.43, and authorization for the village manager to execute a contract with the lowest responsible bidder for Cultural Center Porte-Cochere, PR 2401, to Lasco Development Incorporated. 9, adoption of resolution number 2505, resolution of the Village Council of the Village of Royal Palm Beach, Florida, approving and authorizing, in accordance with established policy, the making of a budget amendment for Fund 401 in the fiscal year 2024-2025 budget. Said amendments transfer a total of $60,000 from Fund 304 undesignated fund balance to WTP Site Modification, PW 1902. 10, adoption of resolution number 2508, a resolution of the Village Council of the Village of Royal Palm Beach, Florida, approving and authorizing, in accordance with established policy, the making of a budget amendment for Fund 106 in the fiscal year 2024-2025 budget. Said amendment to transfer a total of $82,927 from Fund 001 undesignated fund balance to Fund 106 Tree Bank Fund. 11, approval of special event permit for First Baptist Church of Royal Palm Beach to hold an outdoor morning service located at 10701 Okeechobee Boulevard on March 2nd, 2025, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. 12, approval of 6 special event permits for Our Lady Queen of the Apostles Catholic Church to hold a fish fry at 100 Crestwood Boulevard on March 7th, March 14th, March 21st, March 28th, April 4th, and April 11th, 2025, from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. 13, approval of special event permit for POTTC Events to hold a seafood festival at Royal Palm Beach Commons on Saturday, March 15th, 2025, from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Sunday, March 16th, 2025, from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. 14, approval and authorization for the village manager to enter into an agreement with ET Pressure Cleaning, LLC, as the lowest responsible bidder for annual sidewalk, walkway, curb, and park site pressure cleaning commencing March 1st, 2025, and ending February 28th, 2026. 15, approval and authorization to renew Project Docs hosted electronic plan review and project management system with Evolve Software Corporation for the amount of $117,227.49. 16, adoption of resolution number 2502, a resolution of the Village Council of the Village of Royal Palm Beach, Florida, adopting a revised schedule of fees and charges, specifically repealing resolution number 2437, providing that this schedule of fees and charges shall be available for inspection at all times at the Village Hall during regular business hours, providing an effective date and for other purposes.
Thank you. Would anyone care to pull any item off the consent agenda?
I'd like to pull consent agenda item number 10, please.
Item number 10. Anyone else? If not, I'll look for a motion to approve the remainder of the consent agenda.
Approve consent agenda items number 1 through 9 and 11 through 16.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Would you like to take the lead then
Yep.
on discussion on
And
item number 10?
I don't have a concern with number 10. I just wanted an explanation for the public as far as what the tree bank is exactly.
Some time ago, we passed a preservation ordinance, and in that preservation ordinance is a requirement to either replant trees based on trees that you've taken out or pay into the tree fund. For example, if you cut a specimen tree, 12-inch oak tree, which is a specimen tree down, you had to replace it with probably 3 trees in its place. There's a lot of properties that you can't replace all the trees on the property, and if there's just not room on the property to do it, then you have the option of paying into the tree fund. That's what this is. Or if, for example, this money was collected from people who violated the tree ordinance, for example, property on State Road 7, south of Okeechobee Boulevard, they cut down all the oak trees in front of their shops there. Well, in the past, when that property owner would do things like that, his penalty was to go to code enforcement. It was a code violation, go to code enforcement, and plant new trees back. Well, now it came with a code violation and go to code enforcement and plant the trees back, and a $42,000 fine for cutting the number of specimen trees that he cut down. And that's where half of this money has come from. So it's, that's what it is. We've created the account, the 106 account. So the monies collected for that purpose have to be transferred into this account. We will be collecting a significant amount of money from the development behind the Winn-Dixie. They had a lot of trees on there, and they literally don't have enough room left on their property to come close to planting the trees that are required to be planted back because of what was taken out. So they will be paying into this fund before they get the first building permit, over $500,000. So now that basically the fund hasn't had anything, when we created it, a lot of the question was, well, what are we going to do with this? So that'll be a discussion we're going to have pretty soon here, most likely in the next strategic plan, to have that conversation.
Okay,
Thank
any
you.
other comments or questions on that one? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve consent agenda item number 10.
Is there a second? I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Let's move on to the regular agenda items, of which we have two. The first regular agenda item is a public hearing for the second reading and adoption of ordinance number 1056. I turn to our staff for a presentation.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This is a second reading. Nothing really changed. There was one scrivener's error that I want to point out in the original first reading of the ordinance. It was a minor. Under 10-95, which is the quotation limits, we had a penny missing. So for the 3 written quotes, the limit is from $10,000 to $50,000, and it was presented last time to $49,999. So we just want to make that made aware that we did change that in the new ordinance. Other than that, there's no other changes, and I'm here for any questions.
Any questions from the council?
Actually,
Vice Mayor?
with that, because then the next level up from that, is that the highest level 50,000, or is there a 50,001 that needs to be changed from the next level?
So the next level said 50,000 and above, or
Right.
over 50,000. So we were just missing that penny. And that's where we just adjusted the 3 written quotes up to 50,000. So what up to 50,000, or to 50,000 is
Right.
3 written quotes. And then over 50,000 requires the bid and then council approval.
Okay, so it says over 50,000.
Correct.
That's, okay, thank
Correct.
you.
Councilman Belendes, any questions?
Nope.
Councilman Miller? No, sir. Okay, all right, great. So open the floor then to public comment. Do we have any cards? No. Any hands raised?
No, Mayor.
Last call for public comment. Not seeing any, then I close the public comment period, and I look to the council for any further. Yes.
Before you take action, I do
Oh,
need to
yes,
read the
you need
title
to
into
read
the
it.
record, whenever
Please.
you want me to do that on.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and do that right now then.
Thank you, Mayor. This is Ordinance 1056, Ordinance of the Village Council, Village of Royal Palm Beach, Florida, amending Chapter 10, Finance Taxation, Article 6, Purchasing Guidelines in order to update purchasing authority of the department directors to update levels at which formal procurements are required, update purchase order requirements, providing each and every other section, subsection, Chapter 10 shall remain in full force and effect as previously adopted, providing conflicts clause, severability clause, authority to codify effective date, and for other purposes. Thank you.
I'm soaking that in right now.
We're
So,
now
thank you, I'm sorry. I didn't
statutory
get to that
requirement.
at the beginning. All right, very good. Then public comment, and we have none. I'll close public comment and then look to the council for any final questions or comments, and if not, I'll look for a motion.
Motion to approve regular agenda item 1.
In a second? I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you. On the second agenda item, appointment of one alternate member to Planning and Zoning Commission for a term expiring March 2025. This would be a place where we would turn to Councilwoman Rodusky, since she is our liaison, but in her absence, I'm going to turn to Madam Clerk.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I do have a recommendation by Councilwoman Radusky, and her recommendation is to move and appoint Christopher Butler, who currently serves as alternate number 2, to the alternate number 1 seat with a term expiring in March 2025, and appoint Edward Patterson to the alternate number 2 seat with a term expiring March 2025.
Okay, well, I would need a motion and a second on that recommendation.
I just have a clarification then, and I'm not sure which one to do it, but did you read the motion from Councilwoman Radusky? Or you just read the recommendation?
That was the recommendation.
Okay, gotcha, thanks.
So we need a motion.
I make a motion to approve regular agenda item number 2.
Good enough for the liaisons?
Read into the record by the clerk?
Yes.
Thank you.
Have a motion?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you very much. No further business come before the council this evening. I thank you all very much for a good evening, and you have a great weekend. Thank you.